In the year 476, the Western Roman Empire officially came to an end. But that was not the end of the Roman civilization. It survived in the East through the Christian and Roman Empire centered in Constantinople. While Eastern Europe fell in fragmentation and darkness, the Eastern Romans, often called Byzantine, continued the traditions of Rome, maintained Roman law, Roman culture, and Christian faith. It was not just survival, it was a continuation of the soul of Rome. The Christian Eastern Roman Empire was not limited to what is today Greece and Turkey. It extended into large parts of the Middle East and North Africa. Cities like Alexandria, Antioch, and Carthago were major Christian centers rich in theology and philosophy. North Africa, in particular, was a core part of the Roman civilization, full of cities, aqueducts, roads, and churches. The Roman people of this region lived under Roman law, spoke Latin or Greek, and were part of the Christian Roman world. It was a world more similar to Europe than what came after. Before the Islamic conquests, this was a vast Christian network formed by a united Mediterranean civilization from Gaul to Judea. In the early 7th century, a man named Muhammad began preaching in Mecca. He claimed to be a prophet, receiving message from God, from Allah. His message rejected the Christian concept of Trinity, denied Christ as divine, and proposed a new religious order. Many in Mecca resisted him, but through the conflict and conquest, he gathered followers. In the year 630, Muhammad and his army captured Mecca. And just 2 years later, he was dead. But the movement he began did not die. His successors, the caliphs, launched wars of conquest. Within decades, they had taken Syria, Israel, Egypt, North Africa, and even parts of Spain. The lands that had been Roman and Christian were now under Islamic rule. And the same had happened with the Zoroastrian lands of the Persians. The transformation was brutal, rapid, and permanent. And only happened in this way because of both empires' weakened states. Just before the rise of Islam, the Roman Byzantine Empire and Persian Sassanid Empire fought a brutal war that lasted from the year 602 to the year 628. This was one of the longest and most devastating conflicts in ancient history. It began when the Persians invaded and captured Syria, Egypt, and even reaching the walls of Constantinople. Emperor Heraclius struck back, leading a daring counterback deep into the Persian territory. And in the year 627, he defeated the Persians at the Battle of Nineveh. The Eastern Romans regained their lost lands, but both empires were exhausted. Their armies were weakened, their treasures drained, and their populations demoralized. Only a few years later, a new force emerged from Arabia. Neither the Romans or the Persians were ready for it. This was a different religion of the Sassanids or the Romans. These were the first Muslims. The Sassanids at the time followed the Zoroastrianism, ancient faith that today is nearly extinct. Zoroastrianism is focused on the struggle between the good and evil, a belief in the single God and the idea of judgment after death. And in many ways, Zoroastrianism had more in common with Christianity than with Islam. This means that the war between Rome and Persia was not a religious war between Christians and Muslims, but a clash between two ancient empires, both deeply rooted in civilizations older than Islam itself. After the conquest of Spain, if Charles Martel of France had not stopped the Islamists in 732 with a war, all of Europe could have been fallen. That would mean the end of Christian culture and Roman heritage. Churches would have been converted or destroyed. Christian texts would have been lost or rewritten. Slavery of non-Muslims would have become legal under Islamic laws. Women would have faced stricter rules, and freedom of religion would disappear. Europe, as we know it, would disappear. And with this, art, science, philosophy, and liberty would not exist. Even after losing so much, the Eastern Christian Roman Empire did not fall. In Constantinople, the emperors reorganized the army and society. They built strongholds in Anatolia and held the line against further Muslim invasions. Their navy controlled the seas, using a secret weapon called Greek fire. Scholars preserved Roman law and Greek philosophy. Priests defended faith, sending missionaries to the Slavs and beyond. The empire survived, albeit in a diminished state, and with it, the Roman Christian legacy. The 7th century was a turning point. It marked the end of antiquity and the birth of the medieval world. Islam rose, Rome transformed, and the map of civilization changed forever. But through all this, the heart of Rome kept beating. In laws, in faith, in memory, that heart still beats today, in every place which follows the Roman and Christian ideas. Thanks for watching. Tibi Gretsago, Pro Vigilia.